Because when you think about your personal brand is powerful enough to take you places. I'm telling you, I remember starting saying, I'm going to be a personal branding expert because I stumbled upon this in 2013. I've been doing personal branding since 2013. And I stumbled upon it and I was like, oh my God, I love this. I was a chair of a nonprofit for a girls organization. And so I created a workshop and started teaching them personal branding. But the more I start teaching it, the more the parents start coming. The parents start coming saying we needed this. Well, that was my aha moment, right? Success leaves clues. Pay attention to what's going on around you. I said, well, if they want it, how many other adults want this? And if adults want it, do I have something they would be willing to pay for? Lo and behold, I level this thing up and I start giving it and doing it in corporations and things like this. And people start going wild. All of a sudden I get on social media. I created my brand. I created that brand identity. I got consistent. I stayed in action. Even when I wasn't making a dime, you didn't know it. I was out there adding value, adding value, adding value. When I got to the turn that corner, that's when it hit. And then all of a sudden the momentum just shift. And I went from trying to get people to do business with me to people coming to me to do business with me, asking me to help them, asking me to partner with them, asking me to speak at their events. So I know it can happen. Your personal brand can be powerful because it's the means by which you'll remember. You've got to put it out there though. See, sometimes we don't even, we want to say, well, I don't want to brag. I don't want to seem arrogant or this. No, be confident in the value that you can deliver to people and tell them, because we're not mind readers. If you don't tell me, how am I going to know? How am I going to know? Because really, when you're building this brand, you're building connection, and people connect through your story and they want to understand, how did you get to specialize in this? How did you get that expertise? Because we all got a story. You guys just heard my story. It wasn't great. It wasn't like, oh, she's just so smart and she just went straight to the mountaintop. No. Been through all kind of valleys and peaks and whatever. The key though is as you tell the story, as you build the brand, you take them out of the valley, don't leave them in the valley, right? Because we got to give people hope to know that they can get whatever. We've got to provide them products that's going to solve something. People will pay you. People will pay to get out of something, not to get into something. So you have to understand what is the pain. And this is the process by which people really can articulate that value, be authentic so that you can make those genuine connections. I mean, because at the end of the day, who wants to do business, marry, be in a relationship with a fraud? Nobody. So that means you've got to have that authenticity, right? Jeff Bezos said it best. Personal branding is what people say about you when you leave the room. So when you leave the room and they're gossiping, because they will, is it positive or is it negative? Because we don't have the luxury. Now, don't get me wrong. We're not going to allow one person's opinion of us to shape who we are. That's not what I'm saying to you. But a brand is an overall perception or persona that you give off to a lot of people. This means if you've got a brand, a lot of people have the same perception of you, whether it's a powerful, positive brand or it's a negative one. But the reality is that there's multiple people with a perception. It's not about one person saying you're this and you're like, I don't care what they say, I'm not this. I get that, because their opinion of you need not be important. It's when the perception is off kilter and that's not how you want to present yourself, that you've got to do something to pivot up out of that. And so when you think about it, it's about the way you define yourself. It's rooted in authenticity. So you really ask yourself, how are you showing up? How do you articulate that value? Are you one that's willing to serve and add value to people? Or are you out there trying to get, sell? See, the problem is people don't understand why when they go out to social media and they just start selling, ain't nobody buying. Because guess what? I don't know who you are. I don't know if you the real deal. We skeptical as I don't know what these days. So you've got to take it in steps. There's a thing called the journey, the customer's journey, and it starts with them getting to know you. And so when you think about what it's not about showing off. It's not about selling yourself. Now, don't get me wrong. You can market your brand. It's not a logo, a tagline, a color. It's not your business card. It's not what you post. Those can enhance your brand. That's what we call brand identity. And your brand identity should be created in a way that people start to know who you are. That's very important. Steve Jobs. But if you said his name, immediately thought Apple. And Apple was about what? Simplification. Look how he dressed every day for years. His black turtleneck and his jeans, right? And his tennis shoes. Very easy to recognize. Very much in alignment with the company's brand of simplification. Let's just keep it simple, right? And so what do you want to be known as, and how are you going to show up in the marketplace? That's super important. But why build a personal brand? You guys, there are so many benefits to building a powerful personal brand. I like to kind of put them into a theme: earn more, lead more, win more, so that you can have more influence, impact, and income, because a personal brand really allows you to increase your value, not just monetary value. Yes, it is true. Studies suggest a powerful personal brand gives you 25% more, right? 25% more than just a regular personal brand. But it helps you establish reputation and credibility. It gives you influence. Your value goes up. When your value goes up, what does that mean? You can charge more because people pay you for your value, not your time. When you're in a position where you have a powerful personal brand, you can stop trading your time for money. So I charge $5,000 for a workshop. Might be 45 minutes, might be an hour and a half. It's $5,000 for a workshop. If I'm going out doing a keynote, it can be 75 to 12,000. People go, oh my God, just for 45 minutes to an hour? Absolutely, because you're paying for my 30 something years of experience in life. You're paying for all the expertise that I've been able to culminate over these years, and how I can take all this information and condense it and be able to give it to you in a practical way that will allow you to achieve your result. Again, that's trading value for money, not time for money. That's some powerful stuff, y'all. When you catch that one and you get onto that one, then that's when you can really start making money. That's a whole nother story. You got to get into the challenge to see the whole money paradigm, because we talk about 100K funding hacks. We talk about the differences in the levels and where you sit about the money game. It is no joke. That money game is something we all need to have lessons on. But this will allow you to really advance your career, attract your clients, the whole nine. But one of the key things about having a powerful personal brand is the fact that it allows you to have a higher level of confidence. There's nothing like it. And one thing I can tell you, and two for sure, is that people like doing business, interacting, engaging with confident people. People are attracted to confident people. There's something about that level of confidence that people are really attracted to. Can you confidently articulate the value that you can deliver to other people, the expertise you have, your products, your services, and how it can solve a problem? Because that's huge. When you can do it that way, people really are attracted to you. Because at the end of the day, my buddy Dr. Frazier said, know your worth, then add tax. Because the truth of the matter is when you know your value, you can become unstoppable. No question about it. Because your confidence increases, your influence increases, your impact starts to increase, and then what ultimately follows is the income. See, we don't chase dollars. We don't chase the money. We chase our passion and our purpose, and we deliver in such a way that it allows us to serve the masses, that people want to do business with you. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying give away the farm, give away the world. I'm kind of guilty of that more so than others. My team, I drive them nuts. You're giving away too much. You're giving away too much. But the reality is what's for me is going to be for me. God has blessed me immensely. I'm not worried about it, right? My thing is I would much rather you have the information, the things that maybe you just don't know. And if you know it, you can do something different. You can move different about the cabin. You can start to have that freedom that you desire to have. You can start to have the income, the influence, the impact that you want to have in your life. Because you can't sit here and tell me that we wake up every day and say, I don't want to be successful. I don't want nothing. You wouldn't even be on this call if that was the case, right? So you got to really be thinking about, how am I moving about the cabin? How am I being very strategic and intentional about the things that I do? And so there's 5 elements to a powerful personal brand. I won't get into them. We've talked about several. We talked about authenticity. We talked about your value. We've talked a little bit about your story and how people are interested in your story, not your glory. People like your progress, not your perfection. That's what people connect with. And don't let anybody fool you. People buy off of emotion. We say it's rational. I remember going buying this Jaguar. Y'all, I'm going to just tell you the truth. I said, this Jag is so nice because the seats are so comfy and it really helps my back because I got back problems. Let me just keep it real. It was a little firm on the back. It might have been okay, but I got that Jag because I got up in that bad boy and thought I was cute. Okay, I was like, oh, this is cute. I look good in this. I like this car. We'll do is we'll buy something on emotion and then we try to rationalize it. We'll justify it with rationalization, right? We'll do that. We'll justify it with rationalization. And so that's just human nature. But you got to have that positive digital footprint. How are you showing up online and offline? You can't be one way offline and another way online, because you start to create brand confusion. You have to be consistent across your channels so that you can be discoverable and people can find you. And when they find you, you look the same across all channels. There's no such thing as, but this is my personal channel. Not if you're trying to be in business. Not if you're trying to be in business, my brothers and sisters. No. Everything is fair game. Everything is open. How you move about is important, and it has to be very intentional, because you are a brand. We're all a brand. The question is are you being intentional and strategic with it? And then once you understand these things, once you have that magnetic message, once you're able to articulate with a level of clarity, succinctness, and confidence who you are and the value you can deliver to other people, you got to go master that thing, because that's when the work starts. Brand amplification. How do you put it out into the marketplace so that people understand who you are? And how do you make yourself their OVO? What's the OVO? Their only viable option. And then you know you've got people that work with you.